Heavenly Father, as we gather here today and just talk about what it means to be a disciple, as we engage, grow, and share you in our community relationships, help us be focused on the messenger, on the message, and the mission. Be with us now. Amen. So last week we started a series talking about discipleship. This was a series that we started off talking about the importance of a mission, a messenger, and a message. And we have to share this with one another. And here at Southlake, that focus we've been talking about for the last couple months as we engage, grow, and share Jesus. Because in the end, it's all about relationships. So in order to do what we heard Pastor Lonnie preach last week, today we're talking about how do we engage. So I got a question for the kids. What's the purpose of a tomato plant? To grow what? How do you know that? How do you know you're supposed to grow tomatoes as a tomato plant? Because it has tomatoes. So you know the purpose of a plant because of the fruit it produces. I know some adults just went, oh, I see where he's going with this. So bear with me. So I got some beautiful tomatoes, which I was reminded, and no offense to Texas, I really haven't had a good juicy tomato since I've been down here. I love Chicago and our growing weather. Anyway, no. So what is needed to make these grow? What does a tomato plant need to... So soil. What are other things? What do tomato plants need? Sun. Water. Soil. Water. Sun. Huh? Seeds. You got to grow for something. They need to be next to each other because they help all work together. Yeah. So it takes a lot of work to make tomatoes happen, right? And for those who like growing tomatoes, it doesn't always work out the way you want it to, with all that energy and effort. But with tomatoes and fruit, what in life do we get to have fruit? And my question is for the kids now, at school, what kind of things do you guys get to produce and have fruit with? Nothing? You don't do anything at school? What do you guys do at school? Anything? What happens? Oh, do you have fun outside and play games? Yeah, you do that. What are other things you do at school? You work. What kind of work? You do work, you're right. What kind of work? Oh, learn. Yeah. Are there grades at school? Yeah. Does anybody like to paint or draw in school? Yeah. So there's crafts at school. There's art. There's sports. All of these are really cool, fun little fruits that we get to have in school. Now, adults, are there fruits in our life? There are things that we produce. What are some of those things? Ooh, happy teachers. Look at that. See, adults? There's some students who love happy teachers. What else? What do we do in our life when we produce? What are our fruits of our labor? No, say it, Phil. Say what you just said. Say it. Kids, yes, as parents, one of your labors is the fruit of your children. So kids are a fruit. What does it mean to be an adult? Way to go, Philip. What else are fruits? Paychecks, making money, having shelter, having a hobby. Right? You can't have a hobby without a job-ish, right? You can have dogs. These are all fruits, and pets, but these are fruits of your labor. Now the problem is, we'll go back to the kids for a second. So let's say grades or a fruit? Is there such thing as good fruit and bad fruit?
Yes.
Yeah. And if it takes hard work to get fruit, if it takes work to get good grades, what happens if you don't study on a test? You fall back. If you don't take time to memorize all the words for your test, do you struggle? Is it hard to do? Yeah. When we don't always put all the effort to get really cool, beautiful fruit, it doesn't work out. Now, parents, you kind of know that, right? Hard work. Though we also know there's exceptions. There's those special people that seem not to have put as much effort. So my question to you has nothing to do with the effort, the fruit. Here's my question. With the fruit in your life, what's your purpose? Think about that for a second. In your life, the fruit that you're showing right now that you've been doing, what's your actual purpose? Now, for some of us who do have kids, because that's a fruit, you might say your purpose is to be a parent, to help raise a new family, or help people grow themselves. If you have a really nice job, you might say your purpose in life is to have a nice job. Is that as satisfying? No. And in fact, a lot of times we get so excited about having these kids, and when I have a job to take care of the kids, who do we forget taking care of them? The kids, the fruit. Now, I'm 33, so I'm planning for my midlife crisis. I got some time still, but I'm working towards that. But the conversations I have with people when it comes to a midlife crisis is it's an oversimplification. A lot of times, they're looking at the fruits in their life, and they're realizing that's not who I really wanted to be. I grew tomatoes, but I wanted apples. And what happens is people have a crisis, right? How do I figure out who I am? What do I need to do to change to produce something else? Well, it's not just our life. We work through this. It's not just school we work through this. It's within our own faith. What kind of fruit are we producing? What purpose? Our reading today comes from John chapter 15. As we go there, I'm going to help you guys understand what's happening. We're reading a part of Scripture where Jesus just had his the Last Supper, his last meal, with his students. In a couple hours, they're going to arrest Jesus and take him away. So this is Jesus' final thoughts, last thoughts, with his disciples before a whole bunch of bad stuff's about to happen. And he wants to make sure they are clear and understand what's going to happen next. So he tells them, I am the true grapevine. My Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit, that they'll produce. Jesus is making a point letting his disciples know that everything we do starts with the vine. And who is he? Him. Now, I love the part that says how he prunes branches that produce good fruit. I love growing tomatoes. There's these things called succulents that grow on branches of the tomato plant. You need to rip them off. Because if you don't, they take away from the nutrients, so you can't have a really nice tomato. Jesus is reminding them, just like the grapes, the same thing. If branches aren't pruned, you're not going to get a lot of good fruit. And the person who does that pruning is God himself. But he goes on to share with them what's happening. It says, remain in me, and I will remain in you, for the branch cannot produce fruit if it's severed from the vine. So this plant produced some awesome fruit, right? This looks beautiful. We had some last night. They were good. I promise. These actually weren't too bad. But what happens when the tomato gets removed, I took two off, from the vine, can it still grow? Can it still be a part of it? No, you eat it. That's the purpose of it now. It's done. And Jesus is warning that if you separate from the vine, it is really difficult to grow. You can't bear fruit if you're not connected to the vine. You can't get water, the soil, the sunshine when you break apart from the vine. So why is he telling you that that's the flesh? Well, Jesus gives this warning to them. Anyone who's not remained in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. So if you become separated from the vine and can no longer produce, you're useless. What's interesting here, and this is, I've been really working through this week. I love this part. Anyone who's ever made me, such branches will be gathered together into a pile and be burned. What's been interesting about this, a lot of Christians, because we read this for the first time, automatically think those branches are being mounted up and thrown where? Yeah, where the fire is. We can say it out loud, it's okay, it's in hell. Which us understanding who Jesus is, where he's gone through, that's a good way of thinking about. I think the other message here, when you bind wood together and put it in a fire, what's the purpose of that wood now? What is the purpose? It gives off heat. It's still used. Was it used when it was supposed to be for, though? No. So instead of growing, it has a new purpose. A way we can read this is Jesus is saying if that branch is no longer producing fruit, God's still going to find a way to use it. But it wasn't its intended purpose. Which I think is just as scary as also thinking about going to hell. Because you're no longer still producing fruit. Now as I shared, Jesus has shared this with his disciples. Because this is the last moments. He realizes he's not going to be with them the whole entire time to keep teaching them. So he's telling them, everything I showed you, everything we've done, focus on me. Because if you separate yourself from the things I've taught, who I am, you're just a worthless little branch. I thought about ourselves and talking about if we're fruit, we produce things. What leads me to break away from the branch? What leads me to want to be my own little piece of fruit? And the answer I give myself, because I want to. At the end of the day, it's just about myself. And then I start thinking about myself only. I'm not thinking about the one. And I think that's what Jesus is trying to put into the disciples on that night. And what's cool about this image, if you're on a branch by yourself, what kind of relationships do you have right now? But when you're connected to the vine, who are you connected with? Everybody else, especially with Jesus. Here at South Lake, as we talk about engaging and being with God, it's about being in the time together as one. That's the reminder I see in this imagery that Jesus is telling the disciples. If you break away, you're by yourself. But when you're in me, with me, you have nutrients, you can get fruit, but you're not alone. There's a relationship. As Christians, we talk about the death and resurrection of Jesus. And that's only hours away from what we're reading here today. But through that death and life of Jesus, we celebrate the idea that we all have a relationship with God. We all get to be a part of this. No matter your last name, no matter your nationality, no matter where you were born, because of the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, we all get to be part of the vine together. In fact, They shared that good news again and again and again. We're a part of that same line that they were. As we share and go out and tell people about what we're doing here, we're continuing exactly what the disciples did. So that's the love, that's the message of being together in the vine of Jesus. How do we do that? How do we live this out? How do we be a part of the vine of Jesus? Well, guess what? Good news, Jesus tells us this is really helpful. So as we keep reading, when you produce fruit, so when you share who he is with other people, I have loved you even as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love. When you obey my commandments, when you remain in my love, just as I obey my Father's commandments, remain in his love. I have told you these things so that you will be filled with joy. Yes, your joy will overflow. This is my commandment. Love each other in the same way that I have loved you. How do we engage? How do we be in the vine together? We show love to one another. And just like growing a plant, just like going to school, just like having a job, that's not always easy. Sometimes it can be absolutely tedious. But when we share the love of what's this vine and being a part of it, we're following who Jesus is. It's not about making all the rules, doing everything. It's about showing the love he showed us. That's how we engage with one another. As we leave here today, as we talk about engaging together, being in this vine together, here at Southlight, we get to engage. We get to engage when we read our Bibles or do devotions with our family. We get to engage together when we just talk about our faith, whether with our children or with our friends. Every aspect of our life when we're doing that, we are part of the vine. Because we're sharing good